So good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining today. The topic of today's presentation is Whole School Approach for Successful AAC Implementation through SLP Educator-Parent Collaboration. So to give you a little background, me as an SLP and many other SLPs, as well as the AWAS team, have been passionate about AAC inclusion in schools, in education settings. So I'm happy to share our experience, my experience, and the team that was involved in implementing AAC in an inclusive educational setup. So I'll get started. So firstly, learning objectives. So by the end of this webinar, we hope that you form, all of you, who, whether you are an SLP educator, inclusive educator, special educator, teacher, and therapist, occupational therapist, or parent, caretakers who work in inclusive schools. So all of them are very critical in making a good AAC team. So by the end of this webinar, we hope you form a positive mindset for AAC implementation. That's about the mindset. So mindset always matters. Secondly, understand why leadership commitment is essential for sustainable AAC implementation. Thirdly, collaborate effectively within teams. So you will, I will share information about the roles and responsibilities of each team member, and you will have a lot of takeaways from today's presentation, some examples, some tips to implement it in your setting. And also throughout the presentation, you will hear about the challenges or barriers we faced and how we troubleshooted them. So I'm going to start with imagining or dreaming about some ideal case scenarios. So an ideal case scenario, you can also put it in the chat box as to what you think is, when it comes to AAC implementation, what are the ideal case scenarios that you can think of. So one is, so in this picture, if you look at this picture, the student has walked in. The driver has just dropped him off, and the teacher he greets the teacher, and then the driver is also greeting him, and he has a communication support that is very handy, so he takes it out and greets the student. In this picture, you're seeing a teacher, a classroom teacher, using a smart whiteboard, a smart board, and so she's doing a science lesson, and she has a split screen. So she's teaching a science topic, and on the other half of the screen, she has a AAC app installed so that she can model AAC for AAC users alongside everything else that she's teaching. In these pictures, we see that a student is participating very happily in a classroom. And also an AAC user is using a communication board in a playground, and all children are, they're not surprised by it, or they're not looking at it as some strange thing. They're all involved. So these are some ideal case scenarios. So we begin with this hope. So what AAC really means in schools? So I have come up with a terminology called communication accessibility infrastructure. So when we have heard about disability infrastructure by means of ramps for physically disabled people, and braille and sign language and so on. But what about communication infrastructure, right? So when we also, one of the things that we have come across is that we tend to think about, when we think about AAC implementation, we think about, oh, we need to get a device, we need to get AAC app, we need to subscribe, we need to get it installed, and we need to get somebody to train us, and then the teachers get trained, and we have to start implementing it. But we'll have to think beyond this. So it's not just about the device or just the app. So thinking about communication access as a whole, and then AAC implementation is of course part of it. So think about it in terms of access to language. So AAC in schools means that you're creating an inclusive language environment. And so when we design, keeping in mind AAC users, it'll be beneficial for all, right? So many things are that way. And UDL, so Universal Design for Learning, if we keep that concept in mind and design for the student who needs the highest amount of support, then everybody will benefit from it. And so inclusion or any form of inclusion will not feel like a retrofitting, right? Something additional or something that seems like a difficult task to achieve. So when it comes to communication accessibility infrastructure, we can divide it into two broad categories: physical infrastructure and the human-centered infrastructure. So physical infrastructure is of course, the AAC communication supports, the AAC device or communication device, AAC app installed, and the low-tech resources, visual supports, and everything. So these are all the physical infrastructure that you will need. And then we also need a human-centered infrastructure, which is training, awareness, training, and the right mindset, learning about how to use it, collaboration. So a lot depends upon, 90% of course depends upon the people who are involved in it. So first and foremost, a whole school approach is the best way and the most effective way of AAC implementation, as opposed to just one teacher or one parent trying to get the child to use it or get the teacher to use it. So it should be a whole school approach. The whole school should try and implement AAC. Like I said, not just as a device or just as a something for one particular student. You have to think of it in terms of language accessibility, communication accessibility for all students. So why a whole school approach matters? It always has to come down from the leadership team. So the leadership team is very important here. The founders of an organization, or if you're the principal or the head of a school or organization, if you buy into this, if you believe in this, then you can pass on the same culture, mindset, and all the infrastructure that is needed to the team, and then only it'll be successful and sustainable. So first comes the leadership team buy-in, and then collaboration between the professionals and parents, and then creating the right kind of environment, and capacity building and sustaining best practices. So we hope that AAC implementation does not restrict to just a therapy setup or a clinical setup. We have to look at it in terms of systemic inclusion as well. So when we look at some research studies, they have found out, the same thing has been said by them. So when administrators make AAC a school-wide expectation rather than an individual effort, implementation thrives. Sustained administrative advocacy was a stronger predictor of AAC use than individual teacher enthusiasm. So it may not be very effective if only one or two people are enthusiastic about it. So why leadership buy-in matters? So the school culture, policy, scheduling, everything is dictated by the leadership team of the school or an organization, right? So allocating time and resources for staff training, setting the expectations or setting a policy, school-wide policy, allocating funds for communication support, AAC device, coordinating across different roles. So all these are responsibilities of the leadership team, and that's very, very important. So in our case, the example that I'm going to be sharing with my colleagues is that, in our example, we had a founder, and we had center head which is Naomi, who is present here today. And we had the teaching and the non-teaching staff. Right, so checking with all the things that I just mentioned. So AAC device was made compulsory for all those students who required AAC. They had to bring it to school. That was made compulsory. So that was a policy set by the leadership team. And then the center head was had a lot of responsibilities, and the center head was responsible in for teacher training, including the non-teaching staff. So we had trainings set up at regular intervals called inset day training, and then there were weekly meetings, and walk-in was always allowed because we were a small organization. So we could just walk in and discuss our concerns and discuss ideas. So we had a dedicated device for the organization with our subscription, lifetime our subscription. And we also had a WhatsApp teachers group, which made it easier to carry out the communication. So before I move on, I would like Naomi to share a little bit about her experience leading the organization and managing various responsibilities. Naomi, if you can just share a little bit about your insights and experience.
Thank you, Anjana, for having me here. Yeah, so I think, like Anjana said, because all of us in the leadership team were, proactive, and we believe that communication is something that is essential for everybody. And if we have students in a space where they are learning and they're interacting with each other, then they all have to be given access to the communication that is needed for them. Um, like you said, we had a tab for the hub itself that the teachers could use. They could put in, so if a teacher was teaching math, they could put in subject folders in Avas and use those subject folders for during their teaching. Since they knew what topic was going to be taught for that week or for those classes, they would plan in advance, and they would include, if it was just math, then symbols, maybe certain words, keywords that the student would be learning. And then when there was a question and answer sort of interaction in the class, the teacher would, ensure that the student who was using the AAC device would be able to answer using the device. We also had support staff in the classroom, so who were also trained in using alternative devices. So they would they would be with that particular child, and they would ensure and encourage the child to answer during a discussion round. um, in terms of the setup, the physical setup, we had pictures, we had posters put up in all the classrooms. We ensured that anywhere the child went in that small space, even if it was an independent house, anywhere the child went, they had access to either a letterboard or to a device, or to even just a laminated sheet with icons on it. um, we also had something, I'll give you an example of, we had a community program on Fridays where the children interacted with the public because they were giving out free lemonade and juice and things like that. And so the students who were AAC users, they were encouraged to bring their device out. They communicated with the public using their device. So people who didn't know about it earlier, they were able to see that kids could communicate really well using the devices. Um, and I think also what helped us was the buy-in from the staff. Even though, us as in the leadership team, we were already sort of involved, and we already believed in it. The buy-in from the staff was very important. because they were the ones, the teachers were the ones doing it every day in the classes. They were the ones that had to plan and execute, the lessons. So that was important. And a lot of them, I think one of the challenges that we faced was that they didn't have enough time to maybe do their best with it. Some of them had stayed back late, they or they spent maybe a Saturday with you or a training day with you, and they made those folders for the particular subjects. So I think that was a challenge where we tried to do it in every class. I wanted them to use the device in every class and every subject, but sometimes it just did not work out. But I think the fact that we were able to start and do something, that mattered a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Naomi. And this openness and this dedication coming from the leadership team really helped. And as you said, the staff was also very receptive to it, and so it was good. So now coming to the collaborative approach that we took. So in our center, we had I was the SLP, and we had educators, special educators, and of course the parent team. All of us worked as a team. So as you know, AAC is a team approach. And in our center, we had the following, like I said, we had all these members. So now so each one of us had, along with collaborating, sharing feedback, and sharing our concerns and challenges, we also had unique responsibilities. So as an SLP, I was responsible as a communication coach. Teachers, they had to integrate AAC into the curriculum and into the lessons. Parents, of course, are always the context experts, right? So they give us more insights about the child, what happened at home, and what's going on with the child. Parents are the best people to give us that information. And then students, of course, are the central to every planning that takes place. So we all had a shared ownership. Now I'll go through each one's responsibilities. As an SLP, my responsibilities were to integrate AAC goals into the IEP. So the special educators created IEPs for every student, and I had to integrate the communication and AAC goals, and also create differentiated lessons for AAC users. Not every lesson, not for everybody, but in case the educator had were finding it difficult to work with a particular student, then they would share it with me, and then I would try and create resources that were more suitable for the AAC user. And of course, overall, we were all involved in creating low tech resources. So we created lots of communication resources, lots of different types of communication boards on Avas, and then we got it printed off in different formats, and used it all over the school. And I also had some push-in and pull-out sessions. Pull-out sessions were, of course, individualized therapy sessions, but push-in sessions, walking into the classroom and trying to ensure that the educators are able to use the device and the communication supports, and just to understand what's going on and how things are going on. And then, of course, collaboration, staff training. Collaboration is a common thing for all of us. Then staff training, ensuring that it's sustainable. So from time and again, we have to make sure that if we are missing out, like Naomi said, because of other pressures, we had to always get back on track, and so we helped each other do that. Now, the educators' responsibilities were to understand the students' AAC goals, which many of them did very well, and include AAC system while teaching. So they were trained on modeling strategies, like how to model and how to add keywords to the device, and various other important features in the AAC app. and creating related AAC resources and discussing any ongoing concerns of work with the SLP. So we would share and apply and take each other's feedback. So that's how we collaborated. Another important set of people here in the team were the school caretakers, the nannies, who we called as nannies. So they also had, they were also involved extensively, and they were given responsibilities. So some of the barriers, I mean, some of the challenges we faced was AAC devices are expensive, right? Communication devices, I mean, the iPads or other tabs, they're expensive. So when we ask the parents to send it with a child to the school, somebody has to take responsibility of that device. Of course, children cannot take care of it by themselves. So taking it out of the bag when the students arrive, they knew who were the ones who had the devices in their bags. So they had to take it out, place it in their drawers, and then take it out during the class hours. And also children had to move from one floor to another. So when that happened, they had to ensure that it is being sent with the child. So all these things were very critical. Again, putting it back in the bag during home time. So this was a major responsibility that they took care of. And of course, to make sure that communication devices and other resources are accessible for the students and also for the teachers, putting it on charge and other things were their responsibility, ensuring safety of the device. And like I said, wherever the student goes, the device has to go with them. We had that policy, and they were responsible for taking care of that. And also they were involved in modeling. So they also learned modeling and greeting the students when they arrived, and modeling during snack break, lunch break. So that was their major responsibility, because the teachers would take a break during these times. And so the students spent their snack time and lunch time mostly with the caretaker staff. So we encourage them to model, and also share some, because they took care of children. They also had some insights sometimes about children, and they were encouraged to share it with us. And last but not the least, parents' responsibilities, of course, to send the device to the school. Some convincing had to be done for some parents. Some parents were very happy to send it. And then following up, carryover through homework. And overall, our goal was to enhance communication and connection with the child. So the connection between the child and the family. So now coming to training, training of teaching and non-teaching staff. So these are some pictures to show that we had these training sessions where staff practiced modeling. They practiced how they can use various features of AAVAS, how to add words, edit words, and so on. Sorry, here is a video of a caretaker who's a non-teaching staff modeling AAVAS during snack time.
Snack crunchy. Yes.
Is it yummy? Is it yummy? How is roti, Meha? Let's clear it. How's your roti? Spicy. 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 Do you like spicy food? Huh? You don't like?
No.
This is from another setup called Leap Years, run by Ms. Shashi Rao. So they had these mats, the meal mats, and so again their staff were modeling using the device. You want murukku? What do you have lunch for? The lunch exit. Oh, you have dosa. Oh, yeah. Dosa. You have dosa. Do you like dosa? That is sticky. Do you like dosa? You don't like. ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ don't like it. Oh. So here is a non-speaking child saying that he doesn't like the snack. So meal times, snack times are great routines to model. And here is an example of the security person at the hub, learning hub. So he used the tab to just say bye-bye or greet sometimes. So this is again an example of. You want to say bye? Bye. Okay. Bye. So like Naomi shared, we wanted to make sure that although this didn't happen on a regular basis, we wanted to make sure that people are from time and again falling back on track, using it, and everybody, everybody involved in the organization understood the needs of communication needs of the children and used these supports appropriately. So so there were, of course, some challenges and barriers. Like I said, when children moved from one floor to another, their devices would be left behind, and then that was a challenge that we had to address. So here, this child, Tanish, we gave him a sling bag, and we tried to train him to use that, put the device and the letterboard in that bag, and when he moved to the first floor, he had to take it out and then use it. So as you all know, AAC is not just about building language competency, it's also about operational competencies, right? So using the individuals using it have to be ultimately managing their own devices. So now moving on to the collaboration in terms of IEPs and planning the lessons. So here is an example of embedding AAC goals within subject lessons. So here, for example, if the science lesson is about solar system, so the embedded AAC goal would be during science activities about the solar system, the student will be supported to explore and share information about planets using their AAC system, gestures, and other preferred modes of communication. With partner modeling, visual cues, and adequate wait time, the student will express at least one attribute, such as big, small, far, near, related to a planet, demonstrating participation in the class discussion. So more on this. Now, some real examples, what I'm going to share now. So we used to have, so the educators used to find, would require help sometimes with the lessons. Sometimes they were not sure whether the student was just pointing randomly or did they really understand, are they really understanding and pointing. So that was one of the concerns. And on one instance, we had, teachers used a lot of worksheets along with their teaching and even during assessments. So, for example, this was one of the worksheets, circle the nouns. Given two words, they had to find the nouns. The lesson was about nouns. So this particular student, one particular student had difficulty with that. So this is just a visual, the teacher coming and asking for help, and then the SLP trying to think and coming up with some solutions. So we figured that we had to work on choice making skill for that particular student, and fade the automated response, like, pointing the child had learned, but then just randomly pointing, not thinking and pointing. So that was some skill that we needed to work on. So we had to collaborate with the parent as well, and so a differentiated lesson format, differentiated lessons were also made for this particular student. So now you're going to see the whole circle come together here. So this was the differentiated lesson. So instead of worksheet where it's just one line and it's just text, where the student found it difficult, this was the differentiated lesson. So here the SLP has used high contrast text and symbols, just to facilitate better understanding and pointing for the student. So here's a video where the same child that I'm talking about, you will see that how the assessment session went for this child. So just to give you a little background, so this is a picture comprehension lesson, and the teacher is trying to understand whether the child has understood the concept. So again, like I said, the worksheet format did not work for this child. You will just see in the video.
What do you see in the picture? Chips or balloons? Danish. Can you use your pointer finger? What's your worksheet? Chips or balloons? Yeah. Are you telling me? You want chips?
So this was the challenge. So that's when we collaborated with the parent to work on yes and no, choice making, and so on. So here the parent practiced that at home in real situations, and when she did that, there was certainly a significant improvement in his choice making abilities.
Abhinav, do you want rice? Yes. Okay. Mama is giving rice to Abhinav. Okay. Abhinav, is this rice hot? Is this rice hot? Yes. See, hot. Hot rice. Hot. Hot. Yes, hot.
So if he were to say no, she would not give, and that's when the cause and effect of the words actually he understood. And so this is how we, just to give you an example of how we worked together as a team. So some other collaborations, some examples that I can give you is, we also had food science as a subject in the hub. So I would ask the teacher to model some words related to food taste on Avaz, and where to find it. And also the other things that we collaborated on was giving homework to parents. Communication homework to parents. I'll share some examples in some time. So, for example, the science teacher would share some of the keywords from that lesson, and whoever is practicing typing, which were most students, they had to practice typing those keywords. So, can you please carry over core word modeling? Yes, no, more, stop in your class. So this was also a common request made by the SLP with OT and other activities. So it also mentioned about the push-in. So SLPs can also not only do push out, pull out sessions or individualized sessions, of course, which is needed. But I strongly encourage that SLPs should walk into the classrooms and do a bit of push-in as well. So we had one activity called core word of the day. So we had a core word board, and from there I would pick a word of the day. Here, for example, can, because some of these words, the core words, needed more emphasis, as children seldom use them. So, for example, something like can. So, given access to all kinds of communication supports, they had to come up with a sentence. So the core word here is need, and these are the sentences that children made. So the structure was such that, of course, every parent wanted, for example, at least two speech therapy sessions in a week. But then I think we had around 25 kids in that hub, and we could not provide 2 sessions per week for all of them. So our model was, so thinking again about problem solving this, we came up with a model where everybody models, and when you're modeling, if you're modeling at the right time, then that's also very good usage of time, and then every student that way gets additional, like say 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, about 20 minutes to half an hour of attention from the teacher. So here is an example. You like avocado? Yes or no? Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Thumbs up. Yeah. Thumbs up. Good. Sorry. Avocado lollipops. No. No. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. So here, this was a break time, small break time for the student, and he was allowed to watch a video during the break time because he loved these videos and songs. He was a GLP kid. So just adding modeling here to the mix so that the child gets more exposure. So similarly, the teachers would model, when you model greetings, and then transitions, and also commenting in the class. So if you just have to coordinate between yourselves as a team, and think about, set a goal for the week. So say this week we're going to work on commenting more, using descriptive words more, or this week we're going to focus on self-advocacy more. So things like that. So when you do that, and when you naturally find opportunities throughout the school day to model, that way each student gets more time with more communication time.
Sorry to interrupt, Anjana, but a couple of parents are asking if they can get a copy of this core word board.
Okay. That was downloaded from Twinkle. So this board was downloaded from Twinkle. So twinkle.co.in. This was downloaded from there. I can share the link. Yeah, I can share the link later. Okay, so now going into some depth here with regard to curriculum integration or topic lesson integration. So now this is a framework that educators can use. The SLP and special educators together can collaborate and use this sort of framework. So whenever you have a lesson or a topic, so you have a common topic for all the students, right? So you have to, as a teacher, you have to think about what are the important concepts or skills you want all the students to learn related to this topic. And then for the AAC user, think about what will I prioritize for this student. And then think about, can the student explain it using mostly core words, right? This is the descriptive teaching model applied here. So, and then check in the student's AAC system, are these core words available? And what are the tier 2 and tier 3 words required for this topic? So I'll give an example and then embed it into the AAC system, your classrooms and the assessment. Say, for example, in a preschool setup, simple example, farm animals is the topic. So what will be your learning objectives? So the students must be able to recognize and name common farm animals, understand what the animals do, such as what they eat, what they give, and what sounds they make. And identify animal sounds and where animals live. So these would be some of the things that the preschoolers would have to learn. So using their AAC system and multimodal communication, you set the goal that in the classroom, you're going to facilitate labeling, commenting, and responding about farm animals, such as cow gives milk. So you have the word cow, you know where it is. You can find the word give, you can find the word milk. So eat, grass, so these are the things that you're going to model so that the child will be able to answer these things or share these things. Or, do you like pig? I like pig, or I don't like pig. Or a literacy goal, such as what does horse start with? Horse starts with the letter H, the per sound. So you are prepared, like the teacher is prepared, and the SLP can help you with this. And of course, the next step would be for the SLP to show where it is on support. For example, if we take Avaz, now we know that there is a folder called categories, and then animals and birds, farm animals, and then all these animals, farm animal names are there. Then animal sounds are also there. And then you have the verbs, action words, and a word such as milk can be found in eat folder, drink folder, and so on. So this is the kind of help that SLP can give to the special educator. Okay, next, if we take an example of an advanced topic, such as an Indian independence movement. So here the learning objectives are understanding key events leading to India's independence, recognizing important figures, understanding the concept of freedom, rights, and so on. So here, what is it that you want the learner to understand? Sorry, I put the same thing here. Okay. So here, so you have to make sure that the student is, some of the tier 2, tier 3 words means that the AAC system may not have certain words such as Jawaharlal Nehru or Mahatma Gandhi might be there, not sure, or phrases like Quit India movement or the Dandi March, the Salt March, and all that. So those are some of the words that are related to the topic that are called as tier 2, tier 3 words, very academic words. And we have to, until the student learns to type and spell these things, we have to add these things in the Avaz folder. So we used to have on our hub tab, we used to have a master folder, and we had the subject folders, and the teachers would add words over there, right? And apart from that, using the core words itself, the student should be able to explain most of the concepts, most of their understanding of the subject. So that is the goal. And here, the SLP educator collaboration is very important. Okay, moving on to the next thing, creating environmental engineering. So low-tech, that we can do with low-tech resources, creating some personalized low-tech resources, and also creating some generic low-tech resources which can be used by all students. So we have some examples of this. So this is what is the physical communication infrastructure. So we had these large communication boards in a hall where children would use that space for their snack meal times, and then the other circle time and so on. So all the group activities used to happen there. So we made sure that we have these communication boards and supports in those places. This is how it looked like. And we made sure, like Naomi said, we made sure that we had these core words, these basic words like yes, no, stop, more, toilet, finished in all the classrooms. So every teacher could use it. And we also used to take these boards. This could be rolled and kept and then taken. So teachers have taken these to their field trips. So some of the teachers had taken this and used this. Unfortunately, I don't have the videos of that, but yes, we did use it. This is a picture from annual day, and we made sure that the communication board was there as well. And some more examples here. So we put up these low-tech resources in the entry points and the exit points so that the teacher can model when they enter, when each student is entering. And we also did something called emotional regulation practice for all students. And there also we used AAC extensively, some visual supports extensively. So we also had curiosity from other students who were not AAC users or who did not require AAC, but still they were very curious in exploring what the device is all about and how this works. And they started interacting with each other using that. So that was the nice thing. So here's an example of the dining table having the food-related vocabulary. So now coming to last but not the least important member of the team, the parents. So parent collaboration was also something that we took seriously. So we had created a WhatsApp group, parent group. I think there were 3 parent groups, one for the AAC users in particular. So we had something called Chatty Mondays, Tell Me Tuesdays, Watch It Wednesdays, and Throwback Thursdays. So every day some homework was given, and parents would, by the end of the week, try to complete it and share it in the group. And so that way parents had a kind of a camaraderie with other parents. They felt a sense of belonging, and they knew, like, what is going on with other kids, other AAC users. They felt encouraged and motivated. So in this regard, I would like to call upon Kavya, Miss Kavya, who is the parent who has joined us. Her son is a non-speaking autistic who uses Avaz. So Kavya, can you please share what kind of inputs did you get from the rest of the team, and how was it useful, and how you felt about
Yeah. So we were given tasks weekly to work with our kids regarding AAC, and like we were given proper guidance, and this helped us to move out of the comfort zone of the regular AAC usage. And personally, for me, like it was very helpful for me and my son. Uh, yeah, it was really helpful. And regarding the school approach, I would say my son was even given an opportunity to become a narrator during a Christmas celebration. So it was really good. Thank you.
Thanks. So I'm going to share some examples. So Kavya really worked hard with her son, and we have some video clips here. So this was the kind of, so we used to set a theme. We used to have a theme also. So sometimes we worked on emotional regulation. The other themes we worked on was interoception, Apart from that, we had these general themes as, you watch a video and talk about it, or you use some pictures of you and your child, something from a vacation, and talk about it, and so on.
Okay, did you have your dance class today, Tanish? Yes. Okay, how was it? 1 second. Go back. Tanish, how was the dance class, Tanish? Did you like it? How was the dance? Amazing. So, did you like it? Did you like the, how did you feel? How did you feel about the dance class, Tanish? How do you feel?
So this was a conversation. So the main idea was to bridge the gaps from school to home. So if something happened in the school, so we also had a diary system. We used to write down what happened, like some gist of the day, and if we needed to communicate something to the parents. So they would go through that, and then these conversations were possible because they had some idea about what happened in the school, as well as vice versa. So what happened at home, and then if sometimes they would share. I remember Kavya, so he used to share about what food he actually had, right? So he used to say the same thing every day, and so we made a deal that, okay, you tell me, you had to share breakfast item he had. Because we used to feel very happy that he's saying, but then figured that that's not right. So these kinds of things, and also you would get to know why something went wrong, why was he upset. So you were able to.
Exactly. Yes. I was able to ask him regarding the school, like what happened and all, kind of, I won't get an elaborate detail of everything, but yes, like if he is upset or like if the day was good, like that.
Right. Thank you.
So Tanish, okay, Tanish, we learned about Holi and what do you do? For Holi celebration, what do you do, Tanish? You play with colors with friends. Do you like that, Tanish? Playing with colors? Do you like that? Yes, okay, high five.
Okay, so, and then we have
The second friend, one was a mouse and okay, Tanish. One was a mouse, then the another was a see. Which option? Click on the option. Frog.
So this was the Watch It Wednesday video where the parent and the child watched a video together and then discussed about it. And so through these videos, we also could come to know that, for example, Tanish was not sometimes performing at the same level in the school like he would with a parent, which is the case with most non-speaking children. So these things as well we could notice and understand the true potential of the child. Right. Okay, lastly, have this video. So like I said, the other students who were verbal also felt curious about the AAC system and they tried to interact. So we have some examples here.
How are you? How are you, Ganesh? How are you feeling today? You use your own hand. I'm fine. Thank you. Good. Okay, then what more? Go back. Home. You can talk about what did you eat for breakfast today? Eat. Eat. What did you eat? Leave his hand. Finish. Yeah. What did you have? Breakfast. Breakfast.
Parents want like
Sandwich. Sandwich. What about you?
I had nothing. I didn't have anything.
Nothing. You didn't have breakfast.
No.
You had no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
And so there's another video where
Numbers. Oh, advanced. Eat.
The big
Sweets.
the answers will want
Jelly.
jelly.
What about you?
Yes, ice cream.
Yeah. Ice cream.
Without bunny.
So as you can see, this is this kind of peer interaction is something very valuable to a non-speaking child because peer interactions are difficult to happen within the non-speaking children. So this was very nice to witness. So yeah, so right on time. So as we close, our hope for the future is that every school should be communication accessible by design. AAC users should not be school dropouts. No, I mean, not because they're not capable, but because they're not understood or they're misunderstood or they're not supported enough. AAC users, we want to see more and more AAC users completing secondary education and graduation and enter workplaces. So hope that's the future. Thank you all for listening. And anything, Naomi, Kavya, anything that you would like to add? Anything that I missed?
No, like you said, I mean, access, sorry, Kavya. Like you said, access is very important. So, if there are school leaders on this, in this, in the audience, or anybody from the management team, it's all about starting somewhere. And so, even if it's low tech, resources, even if you can't have a device in your space, wherever you can do or whatever you can do, just start somewhere, and I think that itself will help and support every student in that space. So yeah, thank you.
For me, I am looking forward to implement whatever you have, whatever I learned from here in my new space. And thanks a lot for Anjana and Ava's team for conducting this webinar. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was a really insightful session and with so many examples, and I'm sure there's a lot of takeaways and really true collaboration between SLP, educator, and parents, and including peers. So it was amazing to see how practically you can put it all, come together to have success in the communication outcomes. A couple of questions that people had asked is, Sanika has asked, what level of auditory comprehension is expected to execute expressive level for such lesson plans?
Auditory comprehension. Well,
I think receptive is what they mean.
Yeah, comprehension. Yeah, of course, we do an assessment. Every student had an assessment, individualized assessment, and their communication baselines were considered for individual planning. So the examples that were shown was a generic example, which to demonstrate the collaboration that can happen between SLP and educator. Yes, so the lessons are definitely based on the communicators' communication level. So any other questions?
Yeah, I'm just launching the poll. Please do reply to the poll. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend this session to other parents or this webinar? The next question was how to prepare such big or at least 3 size physical sheets. A3 size, sorry. How to prepare such big or at least A3 size physical sheets.
Yeah, so when you create a low-tech resource using this, these were created using Microsoft Word itself. So you can choose the layout format and configure it that way. Sometimes the printing shop also can help you with that. So you just have to give them the measurements, size, approximate size. And so we
Did you
had
use that using Avaz's low-tech format?
yes.
Okay.
Everything was
So
using
using that, you pasted it in Word and okay.
Yes.
And then the printing guy can actually, you tell them what size you want and he can do it according to
When you're
that.
saving
And I
the
think
file, you save it in so when you're
landscape.
saving landscape format, and then that'll be a little bit bigger. You can get the printout in A5 size or A3, A4, and the printing person can help. And we had a person for that as well. So he would every week he would collect things that needed to be printed for the teachers as well as for the SLP, and he would get the printouts ready.
Yeah. Can you please show the emotional regulation slide one more time and explain more, please? Okay, I guess that's a different topic altogether. Yeah, emotional regulation. Yeah, she was just sharing the fact that they used it in one of the sessions. QWERTY board. The QWERTY board that you used, any link to share?
There's no
The
link
black and
there,
white
but
board. Did you buy it from somewhere or something is what they're asking?
No, it's actually from a parent who makes it, and so you can contact the parent. I'm not sure. There's no
Sure.
link to that, but you can also have a QWERTY board downloadable board, which can be laminated and used. That can also be done.
Yeah. Manjula says, can anyone share a list of schools those support usage of AAC devices and help needed for special needs kids looking for Hyderabad city? So Manjula, we have a list of schools that support AAC and that's provided on our website. So you can check that out. Or you can write to us at support@avazapp.com or send it to us on WhatsApp and we can share the link with you. Yeah, the recording will be available to watch again on the same website where you registered. Yeah, so thank you so much everyone for joining in. And do you conduct any course to use this app? Yeah, we do have courses and we have a lot of FAQs, knowledge base, and a lot of videos that you can log into our website www.avazapp.com. So yes, thank you so much for joining in today. And that brings us to the end of all these sessions. And yeah, a big thanks to Anjana and Kavya and Naomi for sparing their valuable time for sharing their insights and their experiences in this particular initiative. So thanks a lot and thanks everyone for joining in.